In this video, I'm going to show you why infopreneurship is the best business model that you can start or that you can do in 2025. So I've been in the space of infopreneurship since 2018, right? My first online business, I stumbled on it, and in that business, I ended up making $3,000 online, right? So if you check the videos in description below, you will see my testimony, how I stumbled into the space of infopreneurship and how I made $3,000 in the space in my first business, right? So in this video, guys, I'm going to show you why infopreneurship is the best business model in 2025, right? So infopreneurship, it is a space for infopreneurs. Basically, you are combining entrepreneurship with information. So you are in a business of not selling information, but you are empowering people, with knowledge, right? So in the previous videos, I've been mentioning that my formula to success that I've seen, or the pattern that I've seen since I was very young, is that I'll be a good student, right? So I'll be under a great teacher, right? I'll be a good student, meaning I'll be under a great teacher. I would learn, right? And after I've learned, I will become an expert. That's the pattern that I've seen. It has followed me through since I was very young. So for me, school was in a way kind of easy, right? Because I was a good student. The reason why I did exceptional at school is because I was a good student. But not only that, I was being mentored, or I was being taught by great teachers, right? So that was the combination. So I will be a good student, I will go through their method, right? And then the more I stuck, or the more I stay with their method, I will find another way, meaning I will become an expert. I'll find a way to do it faster, to do it easy, and to do it better, right? And after I found that, with the results that comes with it, then I will always have a responsibility. I will always have a responsibility to share that with other people. So that's where people call it a calling. You see, my calling, it is to empower people. But before empowering them, I start being a good student. You see, because for every call, guys, you gotta understand that there is a part where you are developed and there is a part where you contribute. So in this video, guys, I'm going to show you why, in my own personal terms, that I believe infopreneurship is one of the best, if not the only best business model in 2025, right? So I'm going to show you the stats, based on, one of my past businesses that I've done, right? I started a business in 2019 called Educated Trader, right? So I'm going to open now the Udemy dashboard. I'm going to show you guys why I believe infopreneurship is the best business model, right? Before I show you the dashboard, the reason why I make this claim, it's because you can predict your success before you build anything. Let me repeat that statement. The reason why I say infopreneurship is the best, or is one of the best business models, for starting an online business in 2025, it's because you can predict your earning potential, or you can predict your success before you even start the business. You see, you can validate the business before you start it. And that's the beauty of infopreneurship, right? So I'm opening the Udemy dashboard because we're going to use the Udemy dashboard to validate, the space of infopreneurship, right? So I'm going to open, right? So I've opened a dashboard, right? So under dashboard, you go to insights. Right, so when you go to insights, you want to go to marketplace insights, right? So a marketplace insights, it carries a data, right, that shows you what is happening in the wide market. So this is a world market, right? So when you go here, you can pretty much see which topics, have a gap, right? Which topics have a demand that you can create info products on, right? Info products could be courses, info products could be ebooks, info products could be coaching sessions, info products could be webinars. Also, you can even make a twist, right? You can create a physical product based on the data of a digital product, right? Because not only that you can only create digital products, but you can also use this tool to test which topics, because a topic, it talks about interest. It's not really a topic, but it's the interest, right, that you can see or that people are searching for. So I'm going to use 3 tools, right? First, I'm going to use the marketplace insights. I'm going to use Google Trends, and I'm going to use also just a robust test where I look at other creators, right? So we're going to use marketplace insights, and then we're going to use Google Trends, and then we're going to use just the simple Udemy Udemy ranking site, right? So let's say you want to check, you are testing out few ideas, right? So let's test artificial intelligence, because that is the topic that is booming currently. AI is booming, right? So when you check artificial intelligence, right? So this is a booming topic currently. You have not created a product. You don't have a course. You don't have an ebook. You don't have anything. You are just testing, the topics, right? Let's say artificial intelligence, right? We are testing things out. So these are the different creators. These are the different creators, right? These are the different creators. So I'm showing you the first page of Udemy, right? Let's scroll down. Let's scroll down, right? So as you can see, there are many creators for the space, right? You can check from 1 to 347, right? So these are the different pages. Obviously, if you want to make money, right, on Udemy using this, you will have to create a course, right, and make sure that you get good ratings, right? You get good ratings and also good reviews, and your course will be pushed. Your course will be pushed towards the first top 10 pages, right? So that's what you can do, right? So let's open maybe the first 2 pages, right? I'm sorry, not the 2 pages, the first, not 2, maybe first 3. Okay, the first 3 creators, right? I just want to look at the bigger picture. So this is the person that is ranking number 1. And this is the person that is ranking number 2. And this is the person that is ranking number 3. Right? Let's go to the first person who's ranking number 1. Let's scroll down. Right? So when you scroll down, when you are here, right? So you can see this course has like 4.4 rating as an instructor out of 5, which is a good number. And then this person has 310,000 students. Right? So on average on Udemy, the pricing point for courses or for the product is roughly $10 to $20. So you can see that if you times this number by 10, right? So you could see that this person made $3 million, $310 million. Sorry, 3.1, right, million dollars. So, and Udemy, they take 50%. So this person ended up making $1.5 million. Right, so we are just looking at it from a success point of view. If you check this guy, they had 140,000 students, right? Times that by 10, that is 1.4 million, right? Divided by 2, that is $700,000. So this person, they make $700,000 under the topic of AI, right? Complete artificial. Okay, this guy, they had almost 40,000 students. So if you times this by $10, this person, they made $400,000. You divide it by 2 because Udemy needs to take 50%. So these guys, they made $200,000, right? So on the bigger picture, we can see that there is money that can be made with this topic, right? Now the question is, why are these people making so much money in this topic, right? So remember, we have not narrow it down in terms of what exactly are these guys teaching when it comes to AI, right? So let's go and check the last guys who are on the first page, right? The last guy, this one. So this guy made a course about ChatGPT, right? This guy made a course about ChatGPT and AI for Microsoft Excel, right? So he had 10,000 students, right? So you take 10,000 students times 10, that is $100,000, right? Divided by 2, this guy made $50,000. So basically, we can see that you can make money with artificial intelligence, right? When you're looking at it on a bigger picture. Now, I want us to check the trend, the trend, because we were just looking on Udemy, right? So when I go to Google Trends and I check artificial intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence, right? And then I check I check 2025. Okay, not even 2025. I check 2024, right? Let's check 2024. So when you check 2024, basically what you are seeing here is that there is a rise. There is a rise of demand. There is a rise of demand, guys. There is a rise of demand when it comes to artificial intelligence. There is a rise of demand, right? Which means if you can create a product around AI now, you can make money. I know you're gonna say a lot of people have created products, right, concerning around the space. Yes, but now the thing is, the demand is still going up, which means the pie is too big for everybody. You see, that's why I love, it's very important that you can make money if you can write a trend, right? Even if you can be the 100th creator, it's okay. The pie is too big. I'm gonna show you for forex trading, because that's what I did back in 2019, right? Forex trading was booming in South Africa, right? In fact, worldwide, this was the trend for forex trading, right? So if you check forex trading, right, this was the trend for forex trading, right? So if you check now, forex trading is going down. You could see this was 2024, but when you check 2016, right? Let's look at 2016, because that's when forex trading was booming worldwide, right? You can look, this thing was moving up, right? Let me show you in South Africa to give you more specific details, right? Let me show you South Africa, guys, that if you can write a trend that is going up, it doesn't matter if you are, you see, this was forex trading in South Africa, 2016. It was moving up. This is the same trend that we saw for artificial intelligence. So if you can do anything, guys, around artificial intelligence in terms of content creation, in terms of building products, you will make money. I'm sure you'll be like, but there are too many creators in the space. Yes, right. I'm not saying that create things blindly. Do your homework, but I'm showing you that if you can write a trend, it doesn't matter whether you are a 100, you entered in the space as a number 1000. It doesn't matter, right? This is what I did for forex, and I started creating my first business using this data, right? And I launched that business in 2019. You see, the trend was moving up in 2016, but I only launched the business in 2019. Let's see what was forex trend in 2019, right? In 2019, worldwide, right? Because in South Africa, you could see that it was no longer moving up. I think South Africans at that time, they were fed up, right? So you could see that it was at a range of 75% to 100%, meaning the market was about to hit, a turning point. So when you see a graph like this, you gotta be very skeptical also in that space, because that means the graph is turning. That means the graph is going down. It's about to shift. It's about to drop, meaning people, they're about to lose an interest. But when the graph is going up, it means that topic is very hot. So if you can create content, if you can create products around the topic, as I've shown you for artificial intelligence, that you will make money, right? But even in 2019, because the graph did not change as yet, though it was finding a place of equilibrium. It was not moving up, but it was not moving down. I made a bit of money, right? So when you go and check my dashboard, right, you go under, when you go check my dashboard, and then you go under performance, right? I'm gonna show you right now under performance so that you will see, guys. So when you go and check under performance, you will see that I made some money, right? I made $3,000, right, in the space. Guys, I'm telling you, the first thing that you gotta do, gotta check the trend. Check the trend, man, right? So this is how much I made, roughly $3,000, right? I created courses under Forex trading, but I launched my business during the time where the graph was like this, right? If I launched my business, imagine if I launched my business in 2016 when the graph was moving up in South Africa, I could have made a killing, right? So another thing is very important that you must write a trend when it starts, right? So in 2016, Forex trading in South Africa, it was booming, right? But when you're looking at it globally, this was kind of like in an equilibrium state on a global scale, right? But when you're looking at it in 2019, right, it moved up, right? Obviously you can't look at the data for 1 year, you see. So this was 2019, so it was kind of like worldwide, kind of stable. But when you check in South Africa 2016, this thing was moving up, man. In 2016 this thing was moving up because a lot of people in South Africa were starting to get used to Forex, right? So let's check South Africa. Right, let's check South Africa, right? So you could see it was going up. So what am I saying with this? Now, the reason why I love infopreneurship is that you can go and check different topics. Go on Google Trends and look at the trend. Is it going up or is it going down? Like currently, let's look at Forex trading in South Africa. Let's look at 2025. Let's look at 2024 because we are starting 2025, right? So when you look at 2024, I want to see how the graph looks like. It's going down. So it means people in South Africa, when it comes to Forex trading, people are losing interest, right? So if you stay in South Africa, I wouldn't suggest you start a business that is related to trading because based on Google Trends, right, the graph is going down, But if you feel like, it's your calling, if you feel like your intuition pushes you to start that business, then you can do it, right? But I was showing you that you can predict this thing before you start to build anything, right? So let's go back to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, right? So in 2024, you could see what is happening in South Africa. It went up and then it kind of like went down a bit, right? So let's look at the global scale, because remember, the online space, you are not serving people in your country, but you are serving people in the world. So you could see that artificial intelligence in 2024, it has reached a state of equilibrium, right? Meaning there are a lot of people in the space, but you can have a business because the pie is too big for everybody. I just showed you that I made $3,000 in the space that people thought it was saturated, because if there are many creators in the space, that means there is a demand, there is a market, right? But you can check this graph to see what is happening. Or you can go on Udemy and search the topic and look at the creators themselves, and then you can see the earning potential, right? So the reason why these guys, they made so much money is because they built a product when there was a trend. Right? Let's check when this guy launched this. Okay, they only updated their product in 2025. We don't know when they launched the product, right? So we can't really tell when did they write the trend, right? Guys, in the current times of today, the trend that is happening, it is a trend of personal branding, right? If you can do anything around personal branding, and also you gotta understand that personal branding is just another term for creator economy. Back in the days, it was popularly known as online education. It became a creator economy because people not only were teaching online in terms of creating content, but they were also creating stuff. So it was called the creator economy. But now it is called personal branding, right? Which means even the guys who are working corporate jobs, they are starting personal brands. Guys like Mark Zuckerberg, even billionaires are creating personal brand. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Ray Dalio, all these big guys, are starting personal brands. It's because these guys, they are seeing a trend. They are seeing something that is happening in the world, right? So that's why I say this thing is very predictable. So if you can create content around artificial intelligence, I'm telling you, if you can find a way to be creative around the space, you can supply a demand that is currently happening. And the problem is that with the trend will reach a place of saturation, and then it will turn and go down, right? So it's very important that when you are using this approach, you gotta check how far are you in the trend, when did it start, and how far are you, because you don't want to create products when the trend has gone down a lot, because that means people have lost interest or people have been fed up. Or the other approach that you can do, if you find yourself in that position, look at other creators in the space, right? Because point number one, you can check the trend, or number two, study the guys who are leading in the space. Go to their YouTube channel and look at the comments, look at their products, and look at the reviews. There will be people who are complaining, right? So that's another approach you can do, right? Number one, if you check a space, you can see the earning potential. As I've shown you, for artificial intelligence, there is a lot of money. But the other approach that you can do, right, to navigate, because now, yes, there is a demand, but now you want to navigate. Go and study the existing creators, right? Go and listen to people, check their YouTube comments, check their products reviews, and look at the guys who are complaining, right? And then collect the data for the guys who are complaining and start to meet that gap. Remember, every creator will have people who will complain about their product, right? If you can have a bunch of complaints from other creators, then you create a brand that caters for that group of people. You will be able to navigate your path in the space, right? So before you create a course, before you create an ebook, before you create your coaching sessions, before you create your webinars, before you create any products, go and study the guys who are leading in the space, study the comments, study the reviews, and look for bad reviews, look for bad comments, collect a bunch of data, and then close that gap. There is something that you will see, because people will complain, right? Study the complaints and then fill the gap, right? So that's one way of navigating a saturated market. You look at the guys who are leading, and then you fill the gap. You fill the gap. Guys, that's why I'm saying that infopreneurship or any other kind of a business, especially in the online space, if you can use the online space, you can predict the success of it before you start it, right? So before you build your brand, go study others, look at the complaints so that you can close that gap. Start to create content around that gap that you see. Okay, so guys, that's why I say infopreneurship is the best business model in 2025. Any business model that uses content is the best business model. Let me repeat that statement. Any business model that uses content, right, as a tool of reaching out to clients, as a tool of empowering an audience, is the best business model. Do you know why? It's because you can look at even the top content creators, look at the comments in their channels, right? Look at the negative comments and then close that gap. Take a list and then create content that answers those questions. Do you know why? It's because when you start to answer those questions, then you'll be able to meet that small audience that will eventually grow. Because sometimes when a person leaves a bad comment, they are commenting for a lot of people, but other people, they are afraid to leave a bad comment because they don't want to, sound negative. Sometimes you'll find that one person in a group who will take a fall for everybody. So they'll just write a bad comment, and sometimes when you see that bad comment, go and study the replies under that bad comment, right? And then close the gap. So that's one thing that you can do. Or you can use a trend, right? But be very careful when you are looking at the trend. How far are you in the trend, right? So the last thing I want to show you the market insights, right? So let's go to tools. Let's go to insights. So it's either you can use trends, or you can use started up top creators, close the gap, look at the negative things and close the gap, or you go to the marketplace insights, right? So when you come here, we're going to search the topic artificial intelligence, right? It's going to give us more details in terms of is it possible for us to navigate through the space, right? So we're going to type it out and then we're going to click artificial intelligence, right? So when I scroll down, it says so it tells us, it gives us a report, right? A review. Okay, this thing is still loading. It's gonna give us that report where it tells us that this is what we need to do, right? So for you, in order to succeed in this topic, it tells us that we must aim for high ratings, right? So basically what they are saying is that if you can create a course, right, and put it on Udemy and aim for high ratings, right, what's going to happen is that you will move up these pages, right? So remember, there are 347 pages, right, where the creators are ranking. So if you can create a product that has high ratings, you can move to the left. So the more you move on this side, that means your product will start to rank first, right? Now the question is, how do you create a high rating product? Basically what they are saying is that create a great and a good product. You see, and what is the way, or what is the best way to create a high rating product? You see, you go to the space, you study the guys who are leading, you look at the negative comments. Let me tell you something, every successful guy that you see on the internet, they have negative comments, right? Because remember, it's just how it is. That's how it works. Every creator will leave a gap for the other creator. You know, even yourself, when you are successful, people will leave negative comments on your stuff. That will leave a room for other creators. That's how this thing works. A creator will create a problem for another creator. That's how it works, man. That's how the space works, right? So you need to aim for high ratings, meaning the student demand is high, the number of courses are high, right? That the monthly revenue, it's roughly $15,000. You see, so this one tells you more about how much people are making, you know, per month in the space. When you scroll down, I want you to look at this, the conversion rate, right? If the conversion rate is 5% here, then you gotta look at so when you look at here, if they say if the conversion rate is lower than 5%, it means students are not able to find the right course, instructor, or price. So create a course that fills the gap, right? So we are seeing here that 4.7, it's almost 5%. So it's on the hanging line, right? Which means there are many creators who have created courses or who have made money under the space of AI, but those courses are not that great. So which means the majority of people who made money in the space, they just ride the wave. They were riding the wave. So if you can start to create products that are good, right? So you can use this information, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram, you know, because remember, when you are doing a market research, right, you just want to get a holistic view. You're not going to get something that is too specific, because remember, business is all about working on few details, right? So it's 4.7, right? And then you could see this is the course that is leading, right? That's the course that we saw. This guy, it's the top earning guy. He's number one. When you look at it on this side, this is the number one course, right? So that's what the market's insights is showing. Now let me show you for one. Let's look at for another topic. Let's say Python, right? Let's say Python, right? And then when we click Python, then we scroll down, right? You scroll down. So they tell you that bring your A game to succeed in this topic. So this one, the competition is very tough, The other one, you needed to have high ratings. This one, you gotta really up your game because the guys in the space are too good. You see, so you can check, the topics that you need to pursue when you're building an online business. Just use this. I love to use Udemy because, it tells a lot of information, and also it's more than 5%, which means you don't want to compete with these guys. The guys who are teaching Python on Udemy, they know their stuff, right? So you gotta, let's look at, let's say Python. Let me see what's Python security, Python hacking, right? So let's look at Python hacking, right? We're looking at Python hacking. Now look, it says this topic is a great opportunity. You see, the demand is high, but the courses are low. Boom, that's it. So you can predict the success, right? The courses are low, the student demand is high, right? So basically you can take Python hacking, create a course and post it on Udemy, or you can take Python hacking and create content, right, on YouTube under this topic. Remember, the guys who are on Udemy, because remember, if the courses on Udemy are cheap, that means the majority of people, they go on Udemy, right? I want you to think for a bit. The majority of people, they go to Udemy because the courses are cheap. Now, if you see an opportunity on Udemy, it's most likely that that opportunity will work for YouTube, will work for TikTok or Instagram. But I mean, you gotta choose one platform. So what I can do for myself, if I know Python, right, I'll just focus on Python hacking, create content on YouTube, right, and create a course. Not on Udemy, but you can use maybe platforms like Teachable or Thinkific, or you can also have courses on Udemy. It's up to you. You can put them on both platforms. But this is what you need to do to test the idea before you build the brand. So the student demand is high, the number of courses are low, right? You could see the monthly revenue. Let's go down and see. Now, guys, it's 1.6%. This topic, if I knew Python, I would create courses around this topic because it's 1.6%. It's very bad. It's too low from 5%, which means people are struggling to find the right course, right instructor, or the right price, right? When you scroll down, this is the guy who's leading in the space, right? The second guy, this is the guy, right? So basically, this is how you test ideas, guys, right? So you can check any topic. You can go and check real estate, right? Let's look at real estate and see what comes up, right? So you could see real estate photography, flipping, investing, marketing, and leads, right? So let's go to real estate leads, right? Remember, guys, you will check something that you have an interest on or something that you see a demand on, right? And then you put it here. When you scroll down, right, it tells you for real estate leads that you must aim for high ratings, right? So the student demand is average, right? So it's not that high on Udemy, right? Let's scroll down and see. So it's 4.6%. So the courses here are good. It's just that the student demand is not that high, right? So stay away from this because the student demand is average, right? Let's go back to real estate. Let's try something else. Real estate flipping, right? So let's see what comes up. Bring your A game. The student demand is high, but the courses are average. You see now, the courses are average. The student demand is high, but the courses, they are not a lot. So this is a gap also. You can create, in fact, when you search here, you can also see the subtopics that you can use for your content, right? Focus on real estate flipping, right? When you scroll down, okay, it's 6.2%, which means the courses are good, but they are not that many, right? They are not that many. And you could see the earning potential. Just look at the first guy and see how much they make. Because if these guys who are leading in the space, they've made so much money, that will be your earning cap or earning potential, right? So guys, I'm showing you this, and this is the reason why I say infopreneurship is the best business model, because you can do these tests before you create a product, before you create anything, right? Even before you create content. Let me check content creation, right? I want to check content, or maybe let's say content. I want to see what comes up. Content creation. Okay, let's say AI text content generation, right? Let's see what comes up. So they say you must aim for high ratings, right? So remember, AI is trending, so we just want to look at text content generation. The student demand is high, but the number of courses are high, right? So let's go down and see. It's 2.6, which means though the demand is high, though the courses are high, but the quality is poor. That's what it means. This, if it's less than 5%, it means the quality is poor. Hence, that's why they told you that you gotta aim for high ratings, meaning you gotta create a good product. So you can take this topic, right? You can create an ebook, you can create a course, right, around AI text content generation. You can also use this and create a YouTube channel. Talk about these things. Because remember, guys, the guys who are on Udemy, it's the same guys who are on YouTube, right? Because remember, Udemy is a learning platform, also YouTube is a learning platform. So you can actually use Udemy to check, right, the ideas that will work on YouTube. So what we are seeing here is that there is not good quality of products around the space, right? Let me just look at content creation and see what comes up, right? So when you click content creation, let's see what comes up, right? So they tell you aim for high ratings, right? The demand is high, and then the number of courses are high, right? We go down, it's 2.3. So what it means that demand is high, creators are many, but the quality is poor. So guys, as you start to test more things, you will see what is lacking in the space, right? So let's scroll down. This guy is leading in the space, right? So you can also get the ideas of videos that you can make. This guy is leading. He made a course around YouTube Clip Master, make money without making videos, right? So this was his product. So guys, basically you can test the thing, right? Let's take content creation and go to Google Trends. I want to see what comes up, right? So you gotta play around these things so that you can find what works for you, right? But remember, you gotta create a personal brand that you care about, right? So we are checking 2024 content creation 2024, right? Content creation 2024, right? So content creation, it has reached a point of equilibrium. It's around the percentile of 75% to 100%, right? And when you check on Udemy market insights, content creation lacks quality, right? The demand is high, the creators are many, but the quality sucks, right? So you can use this and create a brand around the gap, right? And you can see the earning potential, meaning when you scroll down, look at the top guys, right? Let's look at this guy and see how much he's making. You can look at the top 3 guys and you can see how much these guys are making, right? So this guy has 38 students, and then the other one, and also as you are looking at this under content creation, right? When you type content creation on YouTube, look at the titles. This guy made a course about YouTube. This one made a course about YouTube. This one made a course about YouTube. You see, which means the people who are on YouTube, the majority of people who are on YouTube, they are using Udemy to learn about YouTube. That's what it means. If these 3 guys, YouTube, it means these guys who are studying these courses, right? They are YouTube content creators, right? So you can use Udemy to learn about, YouTube. So this guy has like 19,000 students. This guy made a lot of money. He's the one who is leading in the space, right? This guy, how many students he has? He's like 422. The other guy has like 1,961. So you could see that the market, the earning potential for content creation is very big, right? If you take almost 20,000 students times $10, that is $200,000 divided by half, this is $100,000. So if you can create a brand around content creation, more specifically around YouTube, this is how much money you can make. But let's say if you take YouTube and then you go on artificial So you go on Google Trends. Maybe let's check YouTube, right? Let's check YouTube, right? Also YouTube, it has reached a point of equilibrium. It's between 75 to 100, which means there are a lot of people in the space. So how can you navigate the path? Look at the top guys who are leading in the space, study the comments that are negative, and close the gap. So guys, do that, and that's why I love infopreneurship. Remember, when you're a content creator, you're in a space of infopreneurship because you are giving us information and knowledge about your business. You might not necessarily selling, courses or ebooks. You might have a physical product, but you are using content, to market or to educate your audience about your products. So if you are in that space, then you are an infopreneur. You see, infopreneurship is not just you selling courses or digital products. If your business uses content, you are an infopreneur, right? So guys, infopreneurship is the best business model. Any business that has content creation is the best business model. So guys, I hope you were inspired in this video, and please don't complicate the stuff. Remember, number one, go use Google Trends to check the topic. If the trend is going up, that means there is a lot of demand. If it's going down, be very careful because people are losing interest. Look at the worldwide space. Don't look at your country, because remember, you are running an online business, so you are not limited to your geographical location, right? Now, if it has reached saturation, if it's like this, it means there are a lot of creators, but you might have a chance of quality, right? If you can create quality stuff, I'm telling you guys, you will be able to navigate a saturated market, right? So how do you find the gap in a market that is saturated? Go and study maybe 10 top creators. It's up to you. Look at the negative comments. Study their YouTube. Look at their products, reviews. Look at anything that is negative, right? I'm not saying that you take that negative stuff and go and create content to, to give those bad reviews. No. You collect that data, you study it, then you close the gap, right? So thank you so much guys for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.